Michael, we finally made it to our second Herizen Hosts, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It's such a pleasure. Michael, I thought we could probably start with telling our community a little bit about how you and I met.
Oh, yes.
When I think about you, I have like love heart emojis, seriously.
Yeah.
And your wife has nothing to worry about because it's purely platonic. But you
I don't think she cares, if I'm honest with you. I think she's used to it now.
I mean, yeah, you are a personal trainer with 20 years experience. You are a celebrity personal trainer.
I am.
But I think what I feel most proud about from a friend to a friend is that you are a cancer rehab strength specialist. So you really help women when they are probably at their most vulnerable, because you will start to work with women once they have completed their chemo, maybe had their surgery, and they're starting their radio. And anybody that's been through breast cancer will know that radio sort of feels, although it's tough, it feels a little bit easier than everything that was before.
Yeah.
And I remember coming to your place of work and we met. And for me, it was pretty much like love at first sight. We just had an instant connection. Yeah. And you said, right, get on the floor. I want you to do this move. And I remember just thinking, I've just been cut from hip to hip. There is no way I'm getting on that floor. And I think I got really emotional. But what I loved about working with you is that you always created such a safe space for me. And you just allowed me to believe in myself again. You made me work really hard, but you were always there by my side. So from one friend to another, I just want to say thank you for that, because
I'm so grateful. You know, I'm so grateful for you. And I remember a little bit differently.
Don't embarrass me now.
You introduced yourself when you came in. I think you bursted into tears, and it takes a while. And you know what? And I really love that happened, because as soon as that happened, I said to Rajvi, who was the physiotherapist at the time, we are going to get along just fine.
Oh, wow.
Because you opened up straight away. For some people, it takes them weeks for them to open up to me. And when they open up to me, I can literally train them. I can tap into their psyche. I can learn a bit more about them, and we can work together as one. Whereas you opened up on the first day. So I got to know everything about you. You liked, you disliked. I got to learn a bit more about Cassie on the first time I met you.
Yeah.
That's why I said to Rajvi, we're going to get along just fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
And then I think we made a lot of progress pretty quickly, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. You were hitting the best. You know, you were doing amazing. And I think that's because you opened up. I got to know a little bit more about you. You trusted me a little bit more. So we got the ground running quick, didn't we?
We did. We absolutely did. But I could have only have done that if I felt held. So just thank you so much, because it was an incredible experience. And it really was, for me, the start of that healing journey after breast cancer. Starting believing in myself, regaining my confidence, believing in my body, trusting my body again, which was really, really important. And something that I think that sort of, you know, we can struggle to do at times because of the experience that we've been through. So, it was utterly amazing. I also want to congratulate you on your recent wedding.
Thank you
very much. I have never seen a more beautiful couple in my life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Honestly, unbelievable. So for all of our community, Michael has recently got married to the beautiful Kate. And what a wedding it was.
Thank you. We kept it simple.
It was nothing simple about it. It was absolutely beautiful. It was lavish, and why the hell not? I loved it. And you looked just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you very much.
Just as beautiful as your bride.
My biggest supporter, do you know that? You're my biggest cheerleader, and I love it.
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely a fan of Mr. Baah. I definitely am. And I also want to let our community know, and this is something that is just incredible, is that you have decided to join Herizen as an expert partner. And you have become our strength and conditioning coach. So one of the most amazing things for our community over time is they're going to get to know you even more. We're going to be working with them. We're going to be educating them around what exercises are right for women in midlife change. and also how to get really good results. I think that's what is so interesting about you, Michael, is that it goes so much deeper. There's so much knowledge, there's so much education around how to fuel your body and how to do the right exercises to achieve what you want to achieve, whatever that may be.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
You
and I
know?
think that's the main thing that drives me, seeing someone realize what the body can do. It's
Yeah.
seeing you coming into that gym and being like, you know what, I can do that, or oh my god, I've just done that.
Yeah.
That is, I love that. That drives me because that is like opening up a present for the first time and watching someone you gifted it to open up for the present for the first time.
That's a
Yeah,
really beautiful analogy. That's a
you know?
really beautiful analogy.
And the gift giver always loves that, you know. And I
Yeah.
get to do that with every single person I train. That's
I
what
love
motivates me, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
So let's find out more about you because
Okay.
they're gonna get to see you loads. So let's sort of go back a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about Michael Baah and also about your career as a PT.
Okay. So I've been in the industry nearly 2 decades now. So it's a long time. I mean, when I first started, I didn't really take it seriously. I kind of got into fitness just to kind of better myself. I used to be very into sports. I represented my schools. I went and joined the police for 6 years and
Wow.
represented the Met Police and boxing. Got to travel the world, Cuba, New York. So I kind of got into physical fitness just to learn on how I can not get beaten up in the ring, I think. And I literally went down because there was not a lot of support in a lot of athletes, or even people in doing sport in terms of strength training, nutrition. So I had to really kind of learn it myself. So in the midst of all of that, trying to better myself and learning how to bulk, how to cut weight, how to get stronger effectively in my fights. One of my best friends wanted to get fit for a TV show.
Yeah.
And little did I know it was going to be one of the biggest TV shows in the country, possibly the world right now, you know. And she got into fantastic shape.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, she's dropping my name in all the local press and media as to me
Thank
being
you.
the person that transformed her. So I'm ever so grateful to her because she has
Yeah.
really built me this business, you know, which has taken me further than I can ever imagine, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that. So that's how I started. I really went down a rabbit hole of learning how to be in tune with my own body.
Mm.
And from there, I learned to help other people.
Yeah, I love that. And now you work predominantly with women?
I've always predominantly worked with women, and it's hard to say because I've worked with influencers. A lot of the influencers are female, and they have a female following, a large female following. Some of the men as well. So a lot of my following, when I post and tag me, or I go into press, especially female articles, I get a lot of following from there. So naturally, I would say my clientele is probably around about 86% female. So
Yeah,
I've naturally always had a female client base. Uh,
absolutely.
and I'll probably say out of that, I'll probably say 1 to 2% is men,
Yeah.
which is quite weird. It's very, very
Yeah.
strange. I don't know how it's doubled
I
that
think
way.
I think you have to be a special man to work with women. I really do. And I think, the fact that, when we're working out, we
Mm-hmm.
sometimes don't look our greatest. We're sweaty, we're hot, we're in our lycra. It's not
Mm-hmm.
ideal. And then there's you by our side working with us. And, I think it says a lot about the trainer that you are and the style that you use. And
Yeah,
to me, it just feels really personal, really bespoke. And like when you visit your hairdresser and you tell her everything,
yeah, yeah.
it's a bit like that with you, I feel.
Absolutely, because you know what, I love to tap into the psychology of my client, where they're at, where their head's at, and like I
Yeah,
said to you, the moment you start opening up with me, that's it. It's game on. You
yeah,
know, you trust me. You're going to come and do what I ask you to do. And
absolutely.
when you resist it, it becomes a lot harder for us to get to that point.
Yeah,
You know, so yeah, absolutely. You know, it has to be comfortable. It has to be natural.
yeah,
In actual fact, I only take on clients that I can click with when I have initial consultation with. You know, if it's a lot of resistance, there's no point. It's not going to work
yeah.
until they're ready.
And how did you get into working with the cancer world?
Lovely, lovely. You're the first person that's asked me that.
Yeah.
One of my clients had breast cancer. Whilst I was training her, she found out she had breast cancer, and she started going to Genesis Care.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing all the training. I had to do a lot of research because she was my first cancer patient, very, very first ever cancer patient. So I was doing a lot of research on how I can better serve her. So the training went from a transactional training where she was paying me to train her to a little bit more personal. And that shift happened the day that she told me she had cancer. She bawled out, crying. She didn't want to stop training, but felt that she had to stop training.
Yeah.
So obviously I was doing the research about the radiotherapy, the chemo, all the stuff, her journey from start to finish. And I said, hang on a minute, you don't have to stop training. In actual fact, we need to do it more. And then I was researching, giving her all the statistics and all that sort of stuff as well. And when she went to Genesis Care, it was literally in line with my manifesto. So I feel like I was ahead of the game without knowing I was in the game, and that's how it started.
Absolutely. That makes, I mean, yeah, from one client, now look what you do. You really do support the cancer community. And I think as well, it's so aligned to Herizen from a perspective of when most of the women get to you, they are probably already in a medically induced menopause.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So they're already feeling the symptoms of menopause. I definitely was when I came to see you. I was already in a menopause and I had been through cancer treatment. So pretty broken at that stage, and then building that back up. That probably takes me on to the question about what type of training is right for women during menopause or hormonal change.
Yeah.
Is there the right type of exercise to do?
It's a very, very difficult question. I'd say there's a wrong or right answer. When you obviously go through the menopause, you're putting your body through it. There's a lot of chemical imbalance.
Yes.
In fact, one of the biggest questions people ask me is like, why is my body changing?
Yeah.
And I'm doing everything right. I'm not doing anything different,
Yeah.
And that, and I've had a lot of menopausal women and I've been training them. It's been a lot of trial and error for me.
Yeah.
For me to be at this stage, I've had to do all the wrong things. I've had to go back and research. There was a lady I was training for years, and we were training like an athlete, and her body wasn't changing. And so I went back and I said, hold on, let's put this back. We are training Monday to Friday with no break. Let's start adding some serious rest sessions in between those days. In actual fact, we was doing a lot of HIIT training. So we were kind of overloading the stress on this poor lady's body.
Yeah.
And it was only when we pulled it back and allowed time to have little bites of exercise, recovery, rest, and reduce the stress, had a little bit elements of stress, that became, she was losing the weight a lot faster than we did when we were training 5 days a week.
Yeah, absolutely. So HIIT training is actually quite punishing and probably not right for women at that stage of life who are going through the menopause. Is that right?
I wouldn't demonize it. I wouldn't demonize it. I would say too much of it.
Okay.
Will add too much stress onto the body.
Yeah.
So I would say, if you're doing a HIIT 3, maybe 5 times a week, which most women do, especially in the menopause, I would step it back, maybe 1 to 2 times a week, so I wouldn't demonize HIIT. HIIT is a fantastic form of exercise, but if you're doing it 3, 4, 5 times a week, you're putting so much stress onto your body that your body's got no option to hold on to the fat.
Yeah.
So we want to kind of reduce it. So we want little bite-sized chunks of HIIT, little bite-sized chunks of exercise.
No, absolutely. I've got a question that I really want to ask, and I think this is important. What role does resistance training play in managing common menopausal symptoms? Like weight gain, mood changes, fatigue. Like women are feeling all of that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, when estrogen drops, you know, your recovery slows down, your fat distribution shifts. You know, especially around the midsection. That's what we get a lot. In fact, women will come up to me and say, "Michael, I just want to work the midsection." You know, and I'm like, "Can't spot reduce fat." Okay? This isn't a puzzle. I can't just take a piece out. You know, but it's just the education. You know, they're panicking. Their body is changing and they don't know why it's changing. They haven't done anything dramatic, so they're stressed because of the stress that their body's going through. So it's like panic mode, you know, and hence why they don't start doing more. You know, they start doing excessive amounts of training. So it's basically kind of like I said, managing people and understanding that they're not broken. You know, once you know you tune the training and nutrition to match. You know what the best quote I can give people, right?
Tell us.
If you learn the rules of the game, you can play it better than anyone else.
Nice.
Yeah?
I like that.
Learn the rules of the game of menopause, you can manage it better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Okay?
And we have to be careful as well, Michael, because as we're going through the menopause, there's so much stress or more stress on our bones and our heart, you know, because of that estrogen drop.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's why I said it's all about obviously managing that training, having a structured training plan and not overdoing it.
Yeah.
You know? Moderation is key. Consistency is key, but not overdoing it. You know, it's having that balance. You know, strength training is really good because obviously, you know, I've had women in the gym where, you know, like, Michael, I need to put the aircon on. We put the aircon on. Michael, can we turn it off? You know, I need to take a layer off. You know, that is good. That's normal, okay? But training, whether it's HIIT training or strength training, you're going to regulate your blood temperature a lot more. You know, as you're sweating, it's like your vents are opening up to cool you down. You know, things like that is really, really good. You know, so it's a fantastic way to kind of manage the sweats.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder as well, Michael, thinking forward to, because obviously we're going to do our webinar together and that will be a live event that our community can watch.
Oh, Lord.
And I
think you want me to go on live?
Yeah, we're going live and we'll have lots of people joining and it will be utterly wonderful. But I think it would be really great for us to just show some really simple exercises that are going to support, you know, women through menopause to regain strength and to shift mood. Let's talk about that actually. How important is exercise to your mood?
Massive. And you know, with a as a healthy man, I would say, you know, who's not going through menopause. My partner would tell me I have a menopause sometimes, but you know, who is I feel like I'm relatively healthy, you know, as far as I'm concerned. If I don't train, it's like I'm going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
My energy levels are going to take a hit. You know, I get more agitated quicker. You know, I manage stress so much better because I'm regulating that stress within my training. I use it as an outlet. In actual fact, actually, it got to a point, there was a turning point in my training where I didn't train for aesthetics anymore. You know, I trained because I felt good. I trained because I loved the way I felt afterwards. You know, so I manage mood. And everyone says, "Michael, you're so chilled." You know, my outlet has been in the gym. My outlet has been in the gym at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, so I can be chilled. So a lot of the things that will upset a lot of people, I just brush it off.
Yeah.
What you're going to find yourself is your resistance to things like that is so much easier because you're in full control of your emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you do feel outbursts of anger and it comes from nowhere, or you feel such overwhelm that it can actually be debilitating. I've spoken to so many women and I've felt it myself as a menopausal woman. And I think one of the things that our community may feel as well is that they feel so fatigued and they've been at work all day and the kids are there and they've got to cook dinner and da 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 da. We're not necessarily saying, look, you've got to go and do an hour in the gym, but going out for a walk, just taking that 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes even, if that's all you can grab, just get out in that fresh air and move your body. That's what we're saying, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? That's a fantastic starting point for anyone looking to reap the benefits, that is spot on in terms of what I would say to them. You know, just find yourself 5, 10, 15 minutes. If you've got a friend or a family member that you're waiting to call, then go out, go for a walk and have that chat, you know, because 9 times out of 10, you get really involved in that chat. You end up walking faster and a little bit longer anyway, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I so get that. And that just feels maybe a little bit easier to do than people putting added pressure on thinking, I've got to join a gym, I've got to go to the gym. You know, life is hard, it's expensive, you know, but if that's all that they can access, then get out into the fresh air, take that call and do that walk.
Absolutely. Start where you are. Start where you are. You know, that's the biggest thing. You don't need to go and pay extortionate amounts for gym membership that you're likely are not going to be going to every month, and then becomes a financial burden. Reduce the stress, you know, just go out for a walk.
The stress.
You know, I've got a lady who literally, I said to her, she's got stairs next to her where her house is. It's like a train station. They've got the stairs that you go and cross the bridge. I said, do 4 or 5 times. It's literally out your door, go and do that, you know, and that's what she's been doing.
So use the environment around you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. And really, there's no excuse then, is there? Because
no, you have to find that movement is infectious. You know, it's addictive. You know, the moment you start doing that, you know, you then want to try and do something more. You know, so it's very, very good to know. Make that first step to do something.
I know that Laura, our co-founder of Herizen, she literally has to go. If she doesn't have that outlet, it changes her. She just feels just not herself. Absolutely. And I've seen it. And I'm like, go to the gym, you'll feel better. And she does. And then she comes back, you know, but it is infectious. Once you start, I remember how it felt for me. I do need to be honest, and I do need to get back into it a bit more. But certainly, you know, it feels a bit more obtainable because I can access the outdoors and I can go for a walk. So start where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? When you're feeling great, why don't you want to feel like that all the time?
Yeah.
That's what baffles me. And when I don't train, when I skip a training session because obviously work or family or something comes in and messes up my schedule, which 100% that's going to happen. It's life.
Yeah.
It's getting back on a bicycle and riding again. But when that happens, I don't feel 100%. I feel like there's something missing. Laura must feel exactly the same way. So I will literally go back the next day and get back onto that high again.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I always say to people, why don't you want to feel amazing? You deserve to feel amazing.
That's so lovely. That's so nice, Michael. That really is. That makes me feel good.
Good.
And makes me want to get my ass to the gym. I only have one more question for you. It's gone so quick.
Wow.
I wanted to ask you, and when I sort of say this, I feel like I didn't really give you a choice, so it's probably unfair, but I wanted to ask why you decided to join Laura and I at Herizen and this incredible community that we're building.
You know, I think when we were training together, you wanted to create something.
Yeah.
You know, and we were talking. I think you kind of dropped the seed from early on. You wanted to create something to help. And I said to you that, you know, you've been on a journey. You're a completely different person to, I never knew you before the cancer. You know, you are inspiring whoever you talk to. And I could see it in the gym, you know, other ladies will come in a little bit timid, a little bit shy, you know, and you're so infectious that you lift them up. And it's so amazing to see you've naturally got that light. So,
oh Michael,
you mentioned that, and I was like, you know, whatever you're going to do, it's going to be absolutely amazing because you've already got the foundations, you've already got that personality. So when you mentioned it, I don't think you finished your conversations with me, and I was like, I'm in. I'm getting involved.
I think it's true. I went, Michael, I think we're on to something. We want to create this. It's going to be magic. What do you think? And then you were like, yeah.
I'm in. Anything that involves helping people, you know, I have been so lucky in my life in terms of, you know, training, career. I've had people to help me. People have been so selfless in the support I've had.
Yeah.
So I would love to do that to other people, you know, and that's why I have this training regime, you know. So yeah, 100%. As soon as you mentioned it, I was like, I'm in. It fits in line with what I'm doing anyway.
Yes.
Totally in line with what I'm doing anyway. And, you know, for me, I've had to learn about the menopause. I am never going to be a woman with menopause. I'm never going to really feel it the way you ladies feel it.
Yeah.
All I can do is be very aware, learn, because I've noticed that every single person's menopause journey is different as well. Okay, so if we have something to support someone, I have a lot. I'm outnumbered in my family. There's more females.
A lot of girls.
There's a lot of girls. You know, I'm also a girl dad. So if there's something out there that can help, my wife, my mum, my aunt, my daughters, my sisters,
Yeah.
and you've just created something that is probably the biggest gift I can offer them.
Honestly, what a beautiful way to end this interview, Michael. Like, seriously, it's all about giving back. And I think we've created a really safe space, which is interesting, educational, and it's a community. We're building a community, and it's going to be amazing. And we are so happy to have you as part of our Herizen expert team. You're the only man, so you should feel very, very lucky.
My life, one of you.
We're replicating your home life. It's happening in your work life now.
Oh yes, absolutely. I really don't mind.
No, that is wonderful. We're so happy.
As long as I enjoy it, I'm more than happy to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've got big plans, and you are a part of them. So yeah, we've got lots to do. We're going to be very, very busy. But I think it's wonderful that you have joined us, and I'm so excited for us to do our webinar together, and that's going to be wonderful because we're actually going to hear from the community then. But this was just a little snippet to allow them to get to know you. Simple as that. So on that note, thank you so much for your time, and I will speak to you very, very soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you so much, Michael.
Speak soon.
Bye.
Bye.
It's your day.